Harsh sunlight can completely destroy outdoor portraits, add shadows, brown highlights, and uneven skin tone. But today, I will show you how to fix harsh sunlight in Photoshop and turn this into a professional portrait. Here you can see this is the before and this is the after. This is the before and this is the after. So let's get started. Firstly, I'll first delete the group and you start from the scratch. And firstly, you have to analyze the problem in the photo. When I zoom in, you can see that there is uneven skin tone, as you can see, and you can see strong shadows under the eyes and under the chin, as you can see, and you can see that the image is overexposed, or its highlights is overexposed, and you can see that the bright is distracting the background. This photo isn't bad, the lighting is just too harsh, and the harsh light needs control, not blur. Firstly, I will make a duplicate layer for this image. So after that, I will come to filter and then Pappelallee. Always remember that Pappelallee helps us to get those, or to work upon those highlights and exposure, so that the image is well balanced. So firstly, I will reduce on the highlights and a little bit of exposure, and then I will reduce on the whites also, then the highlights, and I will add a little bit of contrast so that the image don't look flat. So the next thing is I will lift a little bit of shadows, and I will try to play around with the temperature, as you can see. And so far you can see the results. This is the before and this is the after. So after that, you can see that we are trying to balance in the dynamic range before touching the skin. And the next thing we are going to do is to try fixing or try working upon the skin. So I will come and press OK. And you can see the difference so far. This is the before and this is the after. So the next thing is I will try to work on the image. I will try to work on the skin. You can see that the skin lacks, or the skin tone are uneven. You can see they are not in the same color. You can see on the stomach it's in the same color, in the different color, and then the face is also in a different color. So what we are going to do is we are going to try to fix our image to have the same skin tone. But before doing this, let me first work upon the skin of the image, or let me first work upon the skin of the model, so that we continue make our skin even. So firstly, I will come and make another copy of this. I'm going to try to apply the frequency separation to smoothen our skin. And please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel so that you get more tutorials like this. Here I will try to, for me, I always want to touch the skin tones when I have already smoothened our skin. So for me, I always want to do that. You can see that the image is not well balanced. As you can see, the skin tones, each part has different skin tones, so we have to make sure that our model's skin has the same skin tone all over her skin. So here I'm trying to smoothen our skin so that when I touch on the skin tones, it looks perfect. And so far we are done with this. So what we are going to do is to work on the skin tone. We want to make the skin tone look want it to look more professional. So what we are going to do is we're going to come and get the eyedropper tool, and then I will look on the body. I will look on the body and sample where there is good skin tone or even skin tone. And you can always come and choose the skin tone according to your liking. So I will be using this kind of skin tone. So after that, I will come to this blending mode and I will set it into color. Then I will come and pick my brush and make sure it's a soft round brush. So come and start painting on the model's face, as you can see. This is looking more professional and you can always come and reduce on the opacity around 50 and then start painting. And you start painting on the model skin. This is how we get professional skin tone in Photoshop. And you can see this is too much, but don't worry, we are going to try to fix it out. And so far you can see the before and then after, but this is too much, so I will need to reduce it so that it looks more professional. So I will reduce it at around 50%, and then I will mask this layer so that to remember, we painted on some parts where we didn't want to paint, so in order to remove that paint from that unwanted painted areas, you have to mask. Come and click in this camera and make sure it's a white brush in between, and make sure here on the color swatches the white is down, and then start clearly on the unwanted parts where you painted, and here you need to be more careful. So far you can see the before and then after, the before and then after. So what we are going to do is we are going to come here on the adjustment layer and then look for hue and saturation. We are going to try to reduce on the red in the image. So I will come and select the red and then I will reduce a little bit, and then I will come again to the adjustment layer, and then come to selective color, and then I will come to the blacks, and then I will add a little bit of blacks so that the image look more professional. So after that, come and make a group of this, and you can name it skin tone. So far you can see the before and then after. I see the before and then after so far, but we are not yet done. We still have a lot to do. And what we are going to do next is we are going to add a little bit of clarity in the image and contrast so that the image look more professional. So what I'm going to do is to come to filter and then come back to the camera raw. So after the camera pops up, come and scroll down to the clarity. Add a little bit of clarity, and then add a little bit of contrast, and then scroll up and add a little bit of contrast, and you can see the before and then after so far. So as you can see now, this is where most beginners actually fail. They blur the shadows and the image at the end of the day look non-professional. So far what we have done is recovering the skin tones and then smoothen our skin tone and recover some textures. So the next step is we are going to be working upon the background, or we are going to be working on the background so that we get that professional look. So what I'm going to do is to come to filter, to select, and then select subject. Remember, when working on the background, we don't want the subject to be affected, so we have to subtract the subject by selecting the subject and make a layer for this subject, and then work on the background itself. So after selecting the subject, come and press Ctrl J to subtract the subject from the background. Then come to the background and then come back to the camera raw. So right here, I'm going to try to darken the background so that we get that professional look, as you can see. And then the next thing is I'm going to scroll down and then come to the temperature and try to make it more professional look. And then I'll scroll down and come to this pigment. So I'll try to add some or a little bit of it. So far you can see the before and then after, the before and then after of the background. So another thing is I try to add or to play around with the screens. I'll come to the color mixer and then I'll try to lighten up the greens. So far you can see the before and then after, the before and then after. So after that I'll come right now. So far you can see the before and then after. So right now I'm going to be working upon the model herself. So I'll come back to filter and then come back Pappelallee. Controlling background reduce the harsh look, so always do that, and this makes the subject pop. So remember we selected the subject ourselves, so I'll come and scroll down and then I'll come to the color mixer. So then I'll come to point color and I'll try to get this eyedropper tool. I'll zoom in and try to sample on the model's chin. So I'll try to add a little bit of saturation to make it pop. See so far the before and then after. So after that I'll come back on the highlights and whites. So I try to reduce it, and so far you can see the before then after. So far you can see the before and then after. So and I will group this and name it background control. So far you can see the before and after. So after that, the next thing is we are going to try to color correct our image, and you can see that yellow skin, red patches and strong warm tones. So firstly I will come and press Ctrl Shift Alt E to make a copy of this. And this time I will be using the color balance, so I will come to the adjustment layer and look for the color balance. here on the tone, I will come to the highlights, and then I will try to reduce or to pull down these harsh yellows in the image. And so far you can see the before and then after, the before and then after. And then another thing, I will come to the shadows, and then I will try to play around it, and then to the midtones. I don't want the skin to look more yellowish, so. And so far you can see the before and then after, the before and then after. And so after that, you can see that this is a professional color grading, or professional color grading is about balance, not filters. So the final touch is, I'm going to try to sharpen our image. So I will come and group this and name it color correction. And so far you can see the before and then after. And you can always come, if it's too much, you can always come and reduce it if it's too much. So the final polish, I will come and press Ctrl Shift Alt E to make a copy of those layers. And then I'll come to filter and then Pappelallee. You know, Pappelallee is somehow perfect for color grading and sharpening. So I always use Pappelallee in color grading and sharpening. So when I zoom in, you can see that our image is not well sharpened. So I'll come and add a little bit of clarity, and then I'll scroll down, add a little bit of sharpen. You can see the before and then after. And I will try to add a little bit of contrast. So I will come to the curve and I will try to add a little bit of contrast, and you can see the before and then after, the before and then after, and this looks more professional. And when it's too much, you can always come and play around with opacity. So I will group this and name it sharpen. So the last thing is always check your opacity so that you don't mess up with the image. So I will come and start checking the opacity, and you can see this is too much, so I need to reduce it a little bit. And color balance, you can still come, it's already reduced. Background control, I think it's great for it. It's now good, and here you can see let's try to play around with the opacity. So what we are going to do is we are going to make a main group for these groups. So I will come and select them all, and then I will come and drag them here, and so far you can see the before and then after. So you can still come and name this main or final. You can see the before and then after so far. If it's too much, you can always come and reduce on the opacity to your likings. So far you can see the before and then after, the before and then after. From harsh and distracting to a balanced and professional image. So if this helped you, comment sunlight below so I know you want more outdoor editing tutorials, and if you want to edit faster, I use my custom skin touching action. The link is in the description. Don't forget to like, subscribe for professional Photoshop tutorials every day. See you in the next one. Bye bye.